Hi everyone, it's Lee. I am the creator of the Rickie's Toys video, and I'm here with my partner in crime, my keyboardist in the video, and also my longtime friend, Allison Piccioni. Say hello, Allison.
Oh, hey there.
That was either murdery or sexy. I don't know which.
Definitely murdery.
It's funny. So we're going to talk about the Easter eggs in this video, and so we're going to explain how we did a few of the things. Some of the things that we're featuring in the video, some of the toys, and some of the...
Rough times, Lee, rough times.
Here we go. I'm trying to see if I can start this thing. Okay, so I wanted to point out two things in this frame here, which I don't even know if you knew. Who are these two characters back here?
I got nothing.
Nothing? You don't know who that is?
It's a stormtrooper.
No. Jesus Christ.
It's Darth Vader.
Okay, so you know Darth Vader. And what's the other thing?
I don't know. It's creepy.
Okay, I sing about him in the first verse from 79.
Boba Fett?
Yes.
That's Boba?
That's Boba.
Mm.
So the other thing I wanted to point out is the R2 on the left is from Color Me Mine, and I made that thing myself. It's actually a robot that they sell there, and I turned it backwards because it's not R2-D2, and I painted it. It took me so freaking long. I had to go back. Who goes back to finish something at Color Me Mine?
Children do, Lee. Children.
Okay, well, then that was me, because that's what I did. Okay, let's see. Moving forward, I pass out. Now, you know what? Can we just mention this for a second? The one question I get more than anything is, what are you wearing on your head? And it's like, I'm wearing an eye mask.
Yeah, but it's massive, and it almost looks like a VR headset.
Yeah, it does look like a VR headset. Other people think it's some sort of visor, which would be somewhat 80s, like a Richard Simmons exercising visor kind of thing, or a Flashdance, maybe.
And it's like one of those butt pads you take out of an airplane.
Yeah. Well, who says it's not? I do have to mention something. One of the things about the collectibles that I feature here is I had to do a lot of research on them, because these groups on Facebook, for example, have 15, 30, 40, 50,000 members, some of them, these collector groups. So I had to make sure my shit was, accurate. I don't know if it totally is. I can tell you that this Boba Fett with the rocket never really, I don't think was ever officially released. I think it only exists in prototype. And
a choking hazard, no?
Exactly. Oh, you really?
Yeah.
You knew that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So before they ever even came out with it, apparently there were a couple of prototypes that were made. I don't even know if they were painted. I guess the Uber fans will have to help me out on this. But I think the picture here that I'm showing is either the prototype or it's actually a knockoff. But the point being, any Boba Fett that has this detachable choking hazard rocket in the back is super, super rare. I don't think it really existed unless you actually worked at Kenner and you were like an engineer on the floor and you walked away with one of the prototypes. I'm surprised actually in the comments that nobody's mentioned this, because this was the one I was most nervous about. I was really stretching the truth. We have some Star Wars title jokes. That was one of the first things I showed you, I think, was this thing.
Yeah, and the Y is still too far from the O. It drives me nuts. Anyway.
Really? What?
The Y is too far from the O.
The Y is too far from the O.
Look at that spacing.
Yeah. Well, look at the T. Does the T not... You want to shimmy that over a little?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you're being really anal. Okay, these are real shots of me as a 13-year-old when I used to make animated films, and this was an actual article that ran in the local paper. But if you look right in the first sentence, it says, "Look out, Steven Spielberg." Okay, Spielberg has nothing to do with Star Wars. So the whole pun that they're trying to... First of all, it's bad. That I don't even understand really the headline. I kind of see where
for
they're...
Star Wars.
It's bad dad joke in a way. But then to say, look out, Steven Spielberg, look out, George Lucas, right? I would have accepted anybody who worked on Star Wars. Look out, grip number 3. The Luke Skywalker, I was shocked at this, $25,000. The one thing I do want to point out is writing the lyrics were a lot of fun, and I had to figure out these rhymes, right?
We probably spent a week organizing those lyrics and how the syllables would fit correctly.
So, moving on. The music behind the bored teenager, do you know what it is?
Something.
She's playing a game. Yeah, but what game? What game?
Obviously something from the 80s.
It is? Just guess.
Frogger.
Yes! It's Frogger.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. 10 points.
I love this shot of Rick. I don't even really know where he is here or why he's standing next to
He
a
looks
life-size
so happy.
life-size R2-D2, but hysterical. I just love it. I thought it was a very, very funny picture. Yes, Han Solo, small head and large head version. That was one of the funny things that I learned researching this, was that apparently Han Solo came in small head and large head variety.
Let's talk about how I couldn't sing Small-Headed Han.
Oh my God. She did the backing vocals and kept saying horn. Like H-A-W-N, horn, small-headed horn. And I'm like, why are you saying Han?
I can say
Why can't you
it,
say
but I can't sing it.
And the other thing is I hate when people say Han. Because it's not Han, it's Han. Is it not Han?
I'm just not going to say the word because I feel like you're going to make fun of me.
But I mean, I think in the movies, sometimes they refer to him as Han. And so this has bothered me. It's a Han thing.
Okay.
All right.
Potato. All right,
Exactly.
let's talk about what happened here.
I haven't animated Star Wars figures since I was 13. Anyway, now that I go to make this video, I animated again, and it was very weird. It's the original figures. I still have that collection, so it's the same ones. And as was the case then, as now, they don't freaking stand up on their own. They fall over, they hunch over, they fall constantly.
We may have played dominoes multiple times.
Multiple times. So I had this idea, particularly when they bend over, I used spray mount on their feet, and I stuck them on the table with the spray mount.
Devalued.
Oh, yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen,
right.
devalued.
Yeah. That's how we did the I call this the YMCA moment. Oh, and that little thing I added right at the end, the little Death Star dog droid. That little guy that goes beep, 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 beep.
How long did it take you to do that?
It was like a day. It takes like a day to do that, just to get that thing to go zigzagging across the screen. I wanted him to go down the hall behind me, but that would have required a depth effect that I just wasn't capable of. So it's a lot easier to get things to go from left to right for all you budding filmmakers. The minute you start playing with the Z-axis, you need some serious tools for that. So, okay, now this thing. I was very scared back there because
he has a fear of bees or basically anything in nature. So I had to go back there first and then convince him that it was okay.
Right. Now let's talk about those binoculars there. So I go online because I'm like, for this scene, I need those things, the Star Wars binoculars, right? And I find the perfect one, and it's cheap as hell. So it gets delivered. I'm psyched. I open the package. It's literally a cast iron miniature of the binoculars, and it's about 2 inches tall.
Perfect.
With a very genuine looking strap for some reason. And beyond that, just putting the binoculars down and staring off at what's supposed to be Rick Springfield's house, the faces that I made either looked like a combination of highly constipated and murdery. And by the way, when we're out in public, which we had to be a couple of times, it's a little weird because I am in Star Wars pajamas, and people do look at you when you're dressed like that. The Springfields, this sign, that house, all fake. That's not his house. I have no idea where he lives. So I just made that sign in Photoshop and did a little composite. And then somebody posted the Star Wars binocular effect with green screen on YouTube for free. So kudos. I'm gonna put a little link there to whoever that is, so you can find it too and download it. Yep.
Nice teal 80s makeup for you.
Yeah. Oh, and I love your shirt. Your shirt is the Vincent Van Gogh Starry Night Stormtrooper.
Yeah, from Target. Amazing.
Right. Also, by the way, that keyboard, the lower one, is not yours. It's actually mine. I bought that with my own money when I was 16. It's an Ensoniq Mirage. It's one of the world's first digital samplers. At the time in the 80s, it was a big thing. Let's talk about the band for a second, because some of them you play with regularly, some of them you don't, right?
So Sean and I run Crowd Theory. It's a band under Crowd Theory Entertainment. We do all kinds of fun stuff. We opened for Billy Idol last year.
Whoa.
And he's a guitarist and vocalist in our band. And then we have Nathan as the drummer. Nathan is our drummer for Crowd Theory, also a very good friend. And we have Chris Mars on bass. He was our bassist for quite some time and still a good friend. And then we have Jessie on guitar, who I met teaching for School of Rock.
So here's a little Easter egg. If you'll notice, there's an 81 on the Mirage display. Do you know why it was 81? No?
Year of Jessie's Girl?
Yes. Wow.
It's kind of obvious, no?
No, I don't. I think it's obvious once you know it's an 81, but it goes by pretty quick. I don't know that you would see it. So that's
kind of looks like a B.
It's a good little Easter egg in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another geeky thing here. That is my case. That is my arm. That is my Star Wars toy collection, which maybe shrunk a little bit from there because I've lost like my Han and Leia and definitely some more of the capes I don't have. The other thing I wanted to point out, another very 80s reference here, is that watch I'm wearing is a Swatch watch, which they still make, but at the time those came out, they were brand new, everybody had them. They were like Swatch watches and Madonna bracelets were the thing, right? The 3 guns, can you name them? Do you know whose they are?
I got nothing.
Nothing? Okay, gun number 1, what do you think? Who would have carried that gun, do you think?
I got nothing for you, Leigh.
Okay, stormtroopers would carry it. Actually, that one was a pretty generic one that they sent with a lot of different figures. Mostly, if not exclusively, all like Empire people. So I think like the Death Squad commander had it, and Stormtrooper had it, and this dainty one, who would you think would have a dainty gun?
Does Leia have a gun?
Leia has a gun. That's Leia's gun. Yes! Nice job. And finally, number 3, whose gun is that? One of the lead guys. We were talking about him earlier. You don't know how to pronounce his name.
Oh, it's Han's gun.
It is Han's gun. Han Solo gun. I did not know about the Uze line until I was researching this project, and maybe as someone who has somewhat of a collection, maybe that's a little bit of a sacrilege. I should have known about it, but I didn't. Rick Springfield does have a bunch of them. In fact, is very proud of them. There's a Rolling Stone video, which we're going to link to as well, where he talks about his Uze line collection. Finding that photo of him was just sheer luck, just doing a Google search on Uze Rick Springfield, and there was him holding it up. Blue Snaggletooth is
the most terrifying toy.
It is. He's an ugly, like if you really look at him.
It's like a rat possum.
Yeah, and he has one tooth, thus the name, right? I'll tell you the story about Blue Snaggletooth. He came originally like this, but you could only get him like this if you did the mail order, which means he was never in the little packaging, the card, they call it a carded package with the card in the back and everything. He never appeared in blue form in a carded package. He was only in this set, and he came in a little baggie. He came in like a plastic bag, right? So hard to get a sense of the actual value here of an unopened Snaggletooth. He would have to be in that bag. $500 for unopened? Maybe. If you guys, maybe please comment, let me know. I mean, I'm curious to know what the actual market value, if in fact unopened blue Snaggletooths exist. I know there's some other things about the markings on their feet. Like, it gets pretty crazy. Anyway, to finish the story, they came out with a red Snaggletooth, which is actually accurate to the color of what he appeared in the movie, and he's short, like half the size. So that's the one they released on the card. So there you go. See, and you thought you didn't learn anything new today. Anyway, opened, yeah, less than 90. I think way less than 90, quite
let's
frankly.
talk about this. So that sunscreen shade in the car, I actually bought for Leigh for Christmas.
Yeah, it was a gift,
year.
like last year. And by the way, I use it all the time.
Little did I know.
Yeah, I don't actually drive with it in, as I'm doing here. Okay, Sotheby's. What's funny about this shot is it's not even a video of Sotheby's, even though I could have easily gotten that. It's just a still. So nobody's moving. There's like people walking, but they're frozen. And by the way, I love air conditioning. I would never, ever, ever drive with my window down. Ever, particularly in New York. I ended up using that same plugin to add the Sotheby's logo on the wall. That is not there, actually, in real life. And we could talk about Sonia, my good friend Sonia. Actress extraordinaire, who I was telling about this project for the longest time, and then just pleaded with her to please be the receptionist. And other than the band, she's the only other person in the film that's actually interacting with me at all. Mm-hmm. There was one take where I ended up whacking her in the face. Like, I go to grab the phone out of her hand and I missed. I just slammed my hand into her face. So that was fun. And kudos to her for doing it as a favor to me. And thank you, Sonia, a lot. Okay, then we do the guitar solo.
Killing it, Jessie.
Killing it. Now, I gotta say, Jessie learned the solo note for note because the guy in the recording is not the guy that you see. Jessie here on camera is not who you hear in the recording. That's Gabriel Moses, who you hear in the recording, who is a longtime collaborator of mine, just awesome guy, awesome guitarist. And I emailed him and I said, hey, Gabriel, how would you like to play the Star Wars theme on Jessie's Girl for free? And he was just like, dude, great, send it over. So this Easter egg is pretty obvious, although not as many people get it as I think. General Hospital, Rick Springfield, Dr. Noah Drake. That's the exterior. You see it in the TV show. I don't think they still use it. Maybe. I haven't watched it in like 30 years. It's still on. So I thought it would be fun to dance with Blue Snaggle in front of General Hospital. Why not? Jessie's Girl. You said you had to play that song since in your cover band.
All the time it's requested. You name it, weddings, corporate parties, backyard parties, everything. And I find myself I fuck up the lyrics. I sing the Rickie's Toys lyrics at events that I'm playing for.
You have to correct yourself really quick.
Yeah. Right. Or get very strange looks.
Right. Singing horn.
Singing horn.
Yeah. What's funny, one of the comments we got was, I love the kids at the end. And I was like, what are they talking about? We're not kids. And I realized none of us look like children except you are dancing around like a girl running through a water fountain.
Yep.
This thing is not it's not a Star Wars toy that I ever seen. I just came across this and I thought it was such the trippiest looking Chewbacca I've ever seen. Apparently, I think it's from Sweden or something.
It's really bad.
And I was like, oh, this was like literally the last shot I put in the video because it was just so
like a voodoo
funny.
hair doll.
Look at what's going on with the eyes. Like one's like off. Look at that body compared to the head.
It looks greasy.
Like, why is the head the same width of the shoulders practically? Like, this is the most terrifying Chewbacca I've ever seen.
It really is.
So I did like a Max Headroom background, if you know Max Headroom, another 80s icon. It's not exactly Max Headroom background, but that was kind of what I was going for here. And also pink and green. How do you go wrong with pink and green, right? It's like pink and green in the 80s. Fine. So do you see that little green trail in the spotlight?
Yeah.
Added, not there in the footage.
Why?
Added it in post. I know. And this is why I need to be hospitalized, okay?
Oh,
in the 80s, videos were shot on tube cameras, and tube cameras, if you shined them in the light, would make that streak. So there's a video called Talk to You Later, ironically by a band called The Tubes, which you can see that effect happening a lot in the video. Okay, we got 3 little Easter eggs here in succession right on the tom. First thing is, again, an Uze line figure that Rick has. This is actually one of his. The second one is a rare Jawa that he has with a vinyl cape. And then the third thing we have is Rick's book called Late, Late at Night. But that's literally on for like 7 frames. It's so fast that unless you're pausing the video, you're never going to see it. And that's why it's an Easter egg. Yeah. Also, we made the Drumsticks lightsabers. I don't know if that's obvious or if it just looks like they're, lit up drumsticks, but they're actually using the lightsaber plugin in Final Cut. So that took a day.
Wow.
That took a long time to do. Sorry, I did.
On me.
I did. I spit. I laughed and I spit on you. I spit on you. And then also at the end, I'm just making a fist.
Why are you fist pumping?
I'm just fist because it's the end. I'm just doing it. I didn't know what else to do.
I'm just doing it.
I'm just doing it, man. I wanted to point out right here, it's the only one non-Star Wars space thing I have in the whole video. That's the Mars rover right there. Not Spirit and not Opportunity and not Pathfinder. Those all came before Curiosity, but that's actually a little small, not actual size. The actual Curiosity is as big as a minivan. So there you go. Is this creepy? The kiss at the end? It's very creepy. Is it creepy or is it funny creepy or is it just creepy?
Probably because I know you, it's just creepy.
Okay. I just thought that, it's a nice message. It's like, be happy with what you have. I'm happy with my opened, shitty blue Snaggletooth.
Fair.
And I don't need to steal Rick Springfield's collection or stalk him or whatever I'm doing in the video.
Fair.
And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I am posting a bunch of links here, and also posting a link to the original video if you haven't seen it, and watch it and share it and have fun. I am thanking Allison for doing this little commentary with me. It would have been really painful to do alone, so thank you for sitting here with me and doing this.
It was painful being here, so...
Okay. Yes, but at least I am wearing a shirt that you cannot see my nipples through today, so it's not as painful as that.